In this video, I want to start creating MATLAB scripts. So up until now, we've done everything in the command line, and that's great for once-off calculations. But what we really need to do now is to take all of that knowledge that we've learned and put it into a functioning MATLAB script where we can create lots of commands that all get executed at, in sequence, but as one big program that fulfills a bigger task. So I'm going to start with the same problem that we had, which was trying to find the volume of the cylinder, and then I want to put it into a MATLAB script as opposed to just trying to type out everything in the command line to find the volume. So let's just get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make a new file. So what I could do is I could go to new and then click script, or I could click new script. But MATLAB, what it does is it opens up a new window, which is the editor window. And this is where we will type our code. So everything that we've typed out in the command window is what we will type out in the editor. The only difference is that this is a place where we can put more than one command and set up an environment to run a certain kind of calculation that's much easier to structure and to make more sophisticated programs. So the first thing I'm going to do is, now that I've created this file, I haven't actually saved it, so it's not actually saved on the computer anywhere, and what I want to do is I just want to save that. So let's save it. Let's call it example one. Example one. You'll notice that I'm not putting in spaces. I'm not starting the file with the number. So that's a valid file name. When I click save, then the file name changes to example_1, which means that I have now created a file on my computer that stores all of this code. So we're going to write MATLAB code now. And I want to take all of those concepts that we learned previously and make a very simple functioning MATLAB script. This is the way that we're going to write programs in MATLAB. This is the way that you write all programs in all computer languages. You write it in a text file essentially. Then MATLAB goes and processes that text file and runs the commands based on what instructions you've given them in that text file. Okay, so if we were to start this problem, I'd say the first thing that I want to do is I want to use variables. I want to define variables for the diameter and the length. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it yeah, okay, let's be specific and write cylinder diameter. Okay, and I'm going to give it a value of 2.15. Oops, 2.15. And then I want to have a length, cylinder length, and that is 3.11. 3.11. Okay, so now that I've defined a diameter and a length, the first part of my volume calculation would be to find the area, the cross-sectional area of the cylinder, which is just the area of a circle. So let's call it cylinder area, and that, as we know, is pi times diameter, but we've created a variable called diameter, so we can just type that in, diameter, and that's squared, and then the area is divided by 4. Okay, so now we've created area, and now we can find the volume. So volume, cylinder volume is, well, what is it? It's the area times the length. So we can write cylinder area times cylinder length. Okay, and so that basically what we've done now is we've created variables, we've assigned values to those variables, and then we've created other variables from those variables, in which case we found the area, and then we've computed the final volume based on the product of the area and the length. So this is pretty simple. We've done this calculation before, but now what we're doing is we're putting it into a script, a MATLAB script. So what we should do is we should save our work. So I can click here, save. And so now I've I saved this work. So if I actually go to, whoops, if I actually go to the folder, I can just show you quickly. Let's open it in Notepad. I've just created a text file with all of my instructions in it. But how do I get MATLAB to run this thing now? So there's an easy way in MATLAB to just execute your file by clicking the run button. So this run button over here will essentially take all of this information and run it one by one. So we'll first execute this line, then it will execute this line, and then line 4 and then line 6. So if I click run, then if you look in the command window, it's gone and it's executed all of those instructions at once. Well, not at once. It's executed all of them one by one as one complete program. So we've essentially made a MATLAB program. It's not the most sophisticated program, but it's a program nevertheless. So that's all I wanted to show you in this video. We've made a MATLAB program. Congratulations. In the next few videos, I'll explain what's happening and try to clean it up a bit and put in some comments to explain what we're doing. If I write hundreds of lines of code and it's all just like this, it's very difficult to see. So we need to find a way of making comments in the code so that it's easier to understand. So those are the next few videos. Stay tuned and see you in the next few.